to find local, full-time, and part-time job openings. Best of all, it's completely free for job seekers to access anytime, day or night. So if you're ready to land a job close to home, make IllinoisJobPost.com your first stop. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. Brought to you by your friends at the regional radio stations.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. Last week, the Clinton School Board announced the hiring of Chuck Nagel as the interim superintendent. Board member Chris Hammer told the Heart Media Group that now that an interim has been hired, they are beginning the search for a permanent superintendent to fill the role. He says the board is not limiting itself to searching internally or externally exclusively.
We're actually going to do both internal and external. Yeah. I don't want to limit it to one. I know some people like to. You can stay in-house, do it, but we want to get the best candidate possible. So we want to open it up to that. Some of the firms out there, like Illinois Association of School Boards, they will help do this. But you know, a lot of those cost money and some of them cost more than others. So we're actually going to meet today and discuss that with some of our school personnel on what are some of our options. There's some other things, you know, sometimes you just post it on the job bank, but people are going to know that it's open if they don't already. So we're hoping to get some candidates, but we'll definitely do some type of search. I'm not sure what firm we'll go through or how we're going to do that necessarily. That's something that the whole board's going to get together and talk about. But, you know, we already have things in place. So we know we want to try to post it towards the end of September. That way, if we can get somebody that we really like in the first few months, then we can see if they'll take a couple personal days and come down here.
Nagel and the future superintendent will be coming into the district during a season of transition from new elementary administrators and the elementary restructuring to upcoming contract negotiations. The district is in need of a strong leader.
Yes, that's a good question. He's going to be the one that has to make any tough calls with it. I will say, you just said it. There's a ton going on here. We hired a new principal and a new assistant principal this year for those buildings. So they're new to it. It's going to be new to the teachers. So, you know, the first few months are going to be a little challenging. And I know Chuck plans on spending a little extra time here and a little extra time over at the schools to make sure it goes as smoothly as possible. A bunch of us were on the committees that help do this. So Sandra Baker is going to be a big part of this. So we're going to do what we can to help Chuck. But we have a lot of good administrators in line. Jim Peck, Jerry Wayne, they're there to help, you know, and they're very experienced and everybody respects them. So we're going to really lean on everybody, but Chuck will be the man that kind of, you know, helps us get through this year before we can hire a new one.
The 2026-27 school year will be the last for retiring high school principal Jerry Wayne and assistant principal Bob Spencer, and Hammer indicates that they plan to take a similar approach in that hunt.
Mr. Wayne and Bob, they're both, this is their last year. Same thing with the high school principal and assistant principal. We're probably going to post those early, and same thing, we're going to do in-house and out-of-house, and you know, we got that going on. And that's why we took our time with finding the superintendent. He has the building restructurings, which was a great thing to bring up. He's going to have to hire the principal and assistant principal for the high school next year. And in the spring, we have to negotiate with the teachers on a new contract. We need some experience for the principal for sure. We will not hire a principal that does not have any principal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Assistant principal, that's where people start. You get your administrative degree, you become assistant principal, get some experience, then become a principal. But the qualities we're looking for are being invested in the district, being invested in the town, being invested in the community. We want people invested like that. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely
kind of what we're looking for. Yeah, it's already going to be word of mouth that we're looking for, superintendent for next year. And then also most people around here know that Bob and Jerry are retiring.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we will put that out there. So if anybody knows anyone that thinks they'll be a good fit, please have them apply when we post it. That'll be, important. We'll look at all avenues and all options.
Nagel has years of teaching and administrative experience, including in the Clinton School District. Keep up with all the latest from Clinton schools by finding them on Facebook or by visiting CUSD15.org. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, DeWitt Savings Bank has tips for college savings. The DeWitt County Museum has been hosting America 250 events all year long, and they are looking back at a busy June as they turn the page to the rest of the year. Joey Long, executive director of the C.H. Moore Homestead, says that while they are hosting at least one America 250 related event each month, during June they hosted 3 big ones. The first of which was a book signing by author Maureen Holtz for her book, Images of America, DeWitt County.
Yeah, so June we had an author's book signing. Maureen Holtz had recently released a book about as a pictorial history of DeWitt County. And so we invited her in and she gave a presentation about that and signed books as people purchased. And I will add, we still do have a supply of books at the museum and the gift shop. If anybody's interested in purchasing one, you can feel good about buying it at the gift shop, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because any books that are purchased at the gift shop, that money directly benefits the museum. And we've sold many. It's been very popular. So we had the author's book signing.
A highlight for many museum goers each year is the month-long quilt show. Long indicates that they put an America 250 spin on the event and saw fantastic participation and quality of quilts.
And then during the entire month of June, we had the quilt show, which we do every year. However, of course, it had that twist. So the theme was America 250 at the Homestead. And as listeners might recall, the way that we do the quilt show is we put out a call for quilts and people actually loan us their quilt for the month for the quilt show. And with the theme this year, they had some parameters. We were looking for red, white, and or blue or patriotic things and whatnot. And, narrowing it down like that, you kind of wonder, how many will we have? Well, we ended up with more than 50.
Wow.
Yes, that's more than we've had in years.
Wow.
Then you might think, well, if all of these quilts are within these parameters, how much variety will there be?
Yeah.
Will there be how interesting can it? Well, let me tell you, every single one unique, beautiful, because each one is a piece of art. And we had them, we had old ones, we had new ones and everything in between. And it really was a well-attended show. So we had a lot of group tours in for that. We had a lot of out of town.
Central Illinoisans love to show off their classic cars, and Long says that was especially true at the museum car show last month.
Then we also had a car show, a classic car show. Oh my goodness. It was wonderful. It was estimated that over 250 people attended.
Wow.
Several entries, fantastic cars. And again, it had a really nice vibe. So many people, just getting together and seeing each other and just enjoying the day. And that was a really nice event. Between all of those events and our regular daily tours and whatnot, we hit right about 500 people came to the museum just in the month of June.
There's more America 250 fun to be had this year at the Homestead. Keep it to the Heart Media Group as we approach August to hear more about what's going on, or visit chmorehomestead.org and find their Facebook page. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
It's the quiet moments you count on. A call that connects instantly, a show that never buffers, a home that just works. That's the difference with Connexus Fiber Internet. We built a buried fiber network designed for consistency, earning us the title of top-rated fiber internet provider in Illinois. With plans starting as low as $25 a month and 3-year price lock options, it's reliability you can feel without the unpredictability. Because with Connexus, connection means everything. Experience better at Connexus.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
Chevrolet is the heartbeat of America, and now is the time to celebrate our nation's birthday in a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City, inviting you to come see our selection of Chevrolets, like the sporty Chevrolet Trax and the good-looking Trailblazer. We also have a good selection of Chevrolet Equinox and the full-size Traverse. Chevrolet, together let's drive. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
News time is 20 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. A local financial advisor is urging students to start saving for college as early as possible. Connie Miller with the DeWitt Savings Bank says saving for college starts too late all too often, which can force students to put themselves into years of debt. She adds that good communication with your child on tuition expectations is important.
I would say we start too late. We a lot of us, it's senior year coming up and we're like, oh my gosh, where's my kid going to go to school? I haven't saved a penny. We don't make a lot of money. The government's going to pay for it all. Just all these assumptions. And I would recommend, first of all, start early and talk about this often with your kids. It's not fair that your kids find out their senior year that mom and dad haven't saved any money. Or you go to visit a college and find out, oh man, we can't afford this dream college. So start early. There's tons of information online. Sort of narrow the career choices. Just to give you an example, when my oldest was a freshman in high school, even 8th grade going into freshman year, we started talking about that. Like, this is what we can afford. This is what you'd be responsible for, because we didn't want it to be a shock. Now with him, we also had him try some career camps, things like the Vault offers career camps, get an idea what you're interested in. He went to an engineering camp at Bradley and decided he thought he wanted to do engineering. So that gave us an idea of what fields to look at with schools to research over the next few years.
Pursuing scholarships and financial aid is a crucial step in the college search. Miller encourages parents to be realistic with their students and say no if they want to make a decision that could be fiscally irresponsible.
Look for schools that maybe they offer scholarships. A lot of kids say, oh, I want to go to this great out-of-state school, and it's literally double what your in-state school is. As a parent, you can say no. You can say that's not financially wise. That's not good for you. If you want to go there, you're going to have to pay for it. Those kind of things, and make realistic decisions based on what your budget is, what you're willing to pay, and what they can afford. Most parents can't afford a full ride at a college. In fact, I'd say probably less than 1% of parents actually pay all of their kids' tuition without debt. So, and there's nothing wrong with a kid going to school and working while they're in college, paying part of their school. There's nothing wrong with that. It makes them stronger, helps them get more experience in the areas that they might want to work in, get an internship to pay for some of their school.
Going into careers that are in demand can help ensure competitive wages as well as job security. Miller notes that this could mean pursuing a certification or apprenticeship over a college degree.
Also, look at careers that are in demand. There's so many things are changing so quickly now. We have AI, it's taking away programmer jobs. Pick a career that's going to be around. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a college degree. We have Bloomington Career Academy here nearby, and they offer all kinds of careers now. They even have like EMT, they have fire science, they have becoming a police officer, welding, so many different kinds of careers that you could try out while you're still in high school. But I will warn people that sometimes when your kids do go to Bloomington Career Academy, that takes away some of their times that they might take a gen ed or something that they need to go to college with. So if like, let's say your child goes the first year and decides, hairdressing is not for me, maybe sticking in it next year is not a great idea, and have them take some general classes that will help them go to college. And it's so in demand. You're right. They're like plumbers, electricians, construction, all of those areas, police officers, corrections officers, they're all needed. And a lot of young people are drawn to those jobs nowadays because they don't want to sit still in an office and just sit behind a computer.
Miller says there are ways to go to college without going into debt, but we'll have more with her in the days ahead from the Heart Media Group on strategies to use if you do take out student loans. The need for food across the state continues to rise as prices remain high. Leaders at the Midwest Food Bank report that the need is so high they are seeing a 15 to 20% increase across their agency's food banks statewide. Mike Swartz serves as the executive director of the Midwest Food Bank in Normal.
I've been here just short of 2 years, but I would say the requests from the food pantries and agencies and food kitchens that we serve from the north and south part of the state has probably had an increased need of almost 15 to 20%. They continue to say we're serving more families than ever before, where they might used to serve 20 families, now they're serving 30 families. And large organizations like St. Vincent de Paul here in Bloomington Normal used to be serving 400 families. Now they're serving 700. So the number just has been continuing to exponentially grow. Therefore, the need has been extremely high. We've had a very thin warehouse about 2 months ago. We've been able to build it back up and be able to meet those needs quite easily. But it's constant need, doesn't go away, and we do not foresee that it's going to decrease at all here probably in the next couple of years.
The Midwest Food Bank brings together a network of over 2,400 nonprofit partners across the Midwest to deliver food to those in need. For those in need of assistance, visit MidwestFoodBank.org. It's not too early to start looking at August and fall weather models. Meteorologist Paul Otto is with Freeze Notice Weather.
In fact, I just took a look at those, and it looks like only the northwest counties in the state are going to be affected by further heat domes in terms of lack of precipitation. And then for September, it looks like the entire state is going to be just fine with rain. Occasional domes of heat, but nothing sticking around for too long. Really, with this El Nino pattern, it's not until we get into the late fall and winter that we really start to see drastic warm-ups where temperatures stay elevated. And that's mainly going to occur in the northern third of the state and bring an extended, late summer into the fall for many counties in the northern parts of the state, as the El Nino will be at its strongest at that point.
Otto says as the state enters the last half of July, only a couple of small pockets are showing up as abnormally dry on the latest U.S. drought monitor. What did USDA's latest crop progress report reveal as the growing season now entered the latter half of July? Rod Bain reports. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. It's DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The sound of warning sirens piercing the air in Bahrain as Iran continues to lash out at its neighbors, targeting those countries with missiles as hostilities with the U.S. intensify. For a 10th straight night, American forces and the Iranians have traded fire. U.S. trade dispute with Canada is heating up. President Trump announcing plans for 50% tariffs on certain Canadian goods. Tropical storm warning has been posted extending from the Florida-Alabama line to Louisiana. Comes as Tropical Storm Bertha continues building strength out in the Gulf of America. Meanwhile, in the eastern Pacific, Hurricane Fausto has formed far from Mexico's Baja California peninsula, and right now it's posing no threat to any land masses. On Wall Street, Dow futures 163 points higher. The NASDAQ futures are up 352. More details, srnnews.com.
Are you carrying more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Do you feel like you're running on a financial treadmill, making payment after payment, month after month, yet never getting ahead? If you're tired of watching your hard-earned money disappear into interest charges, there may be options available to help you take back control of your finances. At Total Financial Freedom, they'll show you what qualified consumers may be able to save through programs designed to help them resolve debt faster than making minimum payments alone. The consultation is free, confidential, and comes with absolutely no obligation. Why spend years, sometimes decades, paying thousands in interest when there may be a better path forward? Total Financial Freedom is a Christian-owned company that has helped thousands of Americans pursue financial freedom for nearly 20 years and is proudly A+ rated and accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now and ask how you can receive a complimentary copy of The Debt Dietitian. Stop running in place. Start moving toward financial freedom at 866-744-7344. 866-744-7344.
From the Heart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Andrew Benintendi hit a go-ahead 3-run double that chased Texas starter Jacob deGrom in the 5th inning, and the Chicago White Sox beat the Texas Rangers 10-3 on Monday night.
With a 10-3 win, the White Sox avoided insult by snapping a 10-game losing streak at Globe Life Field against the Rangers, but injuries to Kyle Teel and Colson Montgomery made the evening bittersweet. Colson Montgomery is day-to-day with a right shin contusion, but Edgar Caro's recall from AAA means an IL stint likely for Kyle Teel with a left ankle injury. At least Andrew Benintendi delivered a clutch bases-loaded double with 2 outs in the 5th.
A swing and a line drive, fair! Right field! Antonacci scores. Murakami is in. Here comes Vargas.
The White Sox continue their road trip with Game 2 of 3 in Arlington, Texas on Tuesday night. I'm Jeff Meller, and I'll have your pregame coverage starting at 6:30 on the ESPN 1000 Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
The Sox and the Rangers are back at it tonight on WHOW. Pregame starts at 6:30 p.m. Spencer Torkelson hit a 2-run single in Detroit's 3-run 10th inning, And the Detroit Tigers topped the Chicago Cubs for a wild 8-6 victory on Monday night. Dylan Dingler connected for 2 solo homers as Detroit improved to 12-4 in its last 16 games, continuing its push to stay together ahead of the August 3rd trade deadline. Riley Green also went deep, and Gleyber Torres had 2 hits and walked twice in his return from an oblique injury. Kenley Jansen, who is 2-4, got the win, and Tyler Holton handled the 10th for his first save this season. Jansen struck out Alex Bregman for the final out of the 9th, leaving the bases loaded. Trent Thornton, who is 3-3, started the 10th for Chicago, but the right-hander was helped off the field after he was struck on his lower leg by Green's 108.9 mile per hour comebacker. Dingler made it 6-5 when he drove in Hao Yu Lee with an infield single off Javier Assad. Cubs second baseman Nico Horner then committed an error on Kerry Carpenter's grounder, and Torkelson bounced his clutch single up the middle. Dingler had 4 hits in his 3rd career multi-homer game all this season. The All-Star catcher also picked off Seiya Suzuki at second for the final out of the 5th. Suzuki, Michael Busch, and Ian Happ homered for Chicago, which had won 4 of 5. The Cubs trailed 5-3 before Happ hit a 2-run shot off Kyle Finnegan in the 8th. Chicago right-hander Jamison Talon allowed 4 runs and 5 hits over 4 1/3 innings in his first big league start since June 7th. He was activated from the 15-day injured list after being sidelined by a left hamstring strain. Talon looked rusty in the first, and the Tigers took advantage. Green hit a 3-run shot for his 15th homer, and Dingler followed with a full-count drive to center for his 20th this season. Chicago rallied in the 3rd. Suzuki hit a 2-run shot off Jack Flaherty, and Busch followed with his 13th homer. Framber Valdez, who is 5-6 with a 4.1 ERA, starts for Detroit on Tuesday night, and fellow lefty David Peterson, who is 4-7 with a 6.45 ERA, takes the mound for Chicago. Vaughn Grissom drove in the tying run with a 1-out double in the 9th inning, and Joe Adell was hit by a pitch in a bases-loaded situation to give the Los Angeles Angels a 3-2 comeback win over the St. Louis Cardinals on Monday night. Nolan Schanuel, batting .367 since June 21st, sparked the late rally with a 1-out single off all-star closer Riley O'Brien, who is tied for the National League lead with 25 saves. Jorge Soler was hit by a pitch, and Grissom sent a line drive off the right field wall that eluded a leaping Jordan Walker. Pinch runner Oswald Peraza scored from second base, and pinch runner Jose Siri reached 3rd. Josh Lowe was walked intentionally to load the bases. Adell, who homered in the 3rd inning, took 3 straight balls from O'Brien, who is 3-4, before getting plunked by the next pitch to force in the winning run. Angels reliever Jose Fairman, who is 3-1, struck out 2 in a scoreless 9th. O'Brien's 5th blown save laid to waste a strong start by St. Louis right-hander Kyle Leahy, who gave up 1 run and 3 hits in 6 innings. He struck out 4 and walked none. Angels starter Jose Soriano threw his best game since early May, allowing 2 runs and 4 hits in 7 innings, while striking out 7 and walking 1. The right-hander, who went 3-6 with a 5.15 ERA in his previous 14 starts, retired the side in order 5 times and became the first Angel starter to get an out in the 7th since June 16th. Walker sparked the Cardinals' second inning rally with a leadoff double over Lowe's head in left field. He went to third on Lars Nootbaar's single and scored on Nathan Church's one-out single for a 1-0 lead. Blaze Jordan followed with a potential inning-ending double play grounder to third base, but Denzer Guzman bobbled the ball, and his only play was to first as Nootbaar scored for a 2-0 lead. The Angels cut the deficit to 2-1 in the third when Adell mired in an 0-for-24 slump that dropped his batting average to .237 entering the game, led off with his 14th homer of the season. Cardinals lefty Matthew Liberatore is 5-6 with a 5 flat ERA and faces Angels right-hander Walbert Urania, who is 5-7 with a 2.88 ERA on Tuesday night. In scores from around the MLB on Monday, the Cleveland Guardians routed the Minnesota Twins 13-4, while the New York Yankees beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 8-5. The Tampa Bay Rays took down the Toronto Blue Jays 7-1, while the Boston Red Sox beat the Baltimore Orioles 6-5. The Philadelphia Phillies took down the Los Angeles Dodgers 10-7, while the Atlanta Braves beat the San Diego Padres 3-2. The Milwaukee Brewers beat the New York Mets 8-3, while the Kansas City Royals took down the San Francisco Giants 4-3. The Houston Astros took down the Miami Marlins 8-5, while the Washington Nationals beat the Colorado Rockies 7-3. The Athletics beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-2, and the Seattle Mariners shut out the Cincinnati Reds 8-0. Green Bay Packers defensive lineman Devonte Wyatt has agreed to terms on a 3-year, $57 million contract extension with a $20 million signing bonus. Wyatt had 6 tackles for loss and 4 sacks in 10 games last season. His season ended after he broke his fibula and tore ankle ligaments during a Thanksgiving Day victory at Detroit, causing him to get carted off the field. Even though he missed much of the season, Wyatt still ranked 3rd on the team in sacks and tied for 4th in tackles for loss. Wyatt has spent his entire NFL career with the Packers, who selected him out of Georgia with the 28th pick in the 2022 draft. He has 16 sacks over his first 4 seasons. Wyatt has had at least 4 sacks each of the past 3 seasons. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Lots of sunshine today with a chance of thunderstorms. Highs around 86. Northwesterly winds